The third and final World Eater raid is here, and today I want to go through the level 104 target using my full cap World Eater fleet. I will show you the build at the end and compare the damage to the auto damage, of course, but I do want to run through the target, talk about the different mechanics of these turrets, if it's been a little bit since you've hit these, and generally the path that I'm giving is applicable to you regardless of your upgrade level, the weapons you have on, the armors you have on, because I still have a few uncommons on here actually, as you'll see, like many non-top level players do. As I was saying, the path is basically the same, the mechanics, the target style is basically the same regardless of your upgrade level. The only caveat to that is that you do get slightly higher chain count at high upgrade levels. That is going to affect basically nothing, but it's the only possible difference other than just a longer time to kill. Starting out with the target, you do enter on the top right regardless of where you come in, which makes it a pretty good auto target. You can outrange the corrosive turret pretty easily, and against the UAV ship right here, if you are running my build with 2 Gale ships, you take down all of the incoming UAVs completely fine, no issues. If you're not running 2 Gale ships, you definitely should consider that. Now, these 2 Inquisitor ships, you take these down fairly easily. There is a very tiny amount of damage from those if you were to zoom in on that green value right there, but I'm not really too worried about that because if you stay moving, you don't take a ton of damage. Here is a bit of a tricky spot right here. I'm going to get hit by both the missile turret as well as the UAV at the same time. That is kind of force damage. You could cheat that a little bit by doing some other stuff, but if I have enough Gales and I start running away, I generally take a little bit less damage than I otherwise would on that one. This is able to chain and kill the corrosive long-range turret, which is good because I don't want to deal with that guy. He's pretty annoying and is going to do some guaranteed damage if you do get in range of him. There is one of these other UAV ships. Again, you can just kill this one pretty easily by circling around this one. Not a big deal on that one. Now against the death size missile, which is the one I'm circling right here, you actually can outrange those, which I didn't know. It seems like pretty lazy game designer standpoint to be able to make something that I can outrange even if it's just barely, because it means I can kill the entire turret cluster here with no issues. And again, I do have a missile turret shooting at me, but because of the Gales on my fleet, and for some reason Gales shoot down missiles only in these targets, you're able to take those down completely fine. Next island, you can just chain off that short-range turret and then avoid the long-range stuff. We'll come back to those at the end if we need to. I do want to loop up briefly and grab the corrosive turret right there, chain off that guy onto the UAV turret, and start running the other direction. If you move the other direction, it gives your Gales more time to shoot and take down the UAVs. Okay, here's 2 Inquisitors, going to kill these guys, and a little bit of free space, give me some room to stay moving, chain onto those guys without taking too much damage, and then I will thread the needle into the gap right here between the area, the different turret arcs right here on this missile that has arcs. You can actually just charge straight through them if you want, which I have shown in the past before, but I'm not going to on that at this time. Now there is a long-range scatter right here that is probably some guaranteed damage. I'm going to avoid this one and see if I can do some different sort of chaining on that one and come back to him. Here's the the turret that has a firing arc right here. Again, if you just stay moving through this one, you'll be totally fine. Ended up getting into range of the turret right there, which I should not have. I should have been able to avoid that and not taking damage from this one. Okay, turret, again, just chain on to the missile ones. They don't really do any damage whatsoever to you. Scattergun, I want to chain onto those 3, and I will be able to do that and take out the corrosive turret. A few things on the left side here. I'm going to briefly charge in and chain off of the central turret here. A few things are going to pop up, which I'm hopefully going to avoid taking a ton of damage from. Looks like I will get hit by a corrosive turret as well as the UAV, but I run away from that one there. A little tiny bit of damage on that one. Probably could have driven a little better, but this is the sort of advantage of having a ton of damage and armor points from the higher armor rarity levels. You can kind of cheese these a little bit and take some more damage than you otherwise would without it being the end of the world completely. Here's the other combination of the depth scythe and then the missile with an arc. You can chain out those ones completely fine right here. I did manage to grab a few extra buildings. If anything, having the higher upgrade level actually hurts right here because this central building I killed, whereas I would not otherwise, which means I have to go into range of this missile, chain onto that guy, and run away. Whereas if this building did not die, I would have been able to chain off of this one onto the last 2 turrets of that platform. Okay, there's 2 Inquisitors right here. I want to see if I can trigger them without actually triggering the corrosive turret, which I'm able to do. Hit them once or twice and then run the other direction. I'm going to stop so I do a little bit more damage to those guys and then go all the way around these 2 corrosive mines. By the way, I think that the footprint on these things is way too large and you get damaged by going like not too close to them, which is pretty frustrating, but that's besides the point. Oh, looks like I can't actually get through here. That's frustrating. That's really frustrating. And look at that, I took damage from the corrosive mine. So what I was trying to do there is just move up towards the top of this island, which would mean I would be able to take out the entire turret cluster here, just based off the missile turret, and take no damage from that one. Unfortunately, this is not the case, so if I get hit by the scattergun turret, I will actually, you know, right there, yep, gonna get hit by 2 or 3 things at once. Unfortunate, but that's what I get for trying to sail through open water on the left there, I suppose. Few other turrets, just charge through those guys, charge through the Inquisitors. They don't do too much damage, especially if you're moving. You can rewind and see all the damage on those values, or all the damage that hit behind me, I should say. Again, here's the Death Scythe. You can actually outrange this guy, which is, again, in my mind, pretty lazy game designing. It seems like you shouldn't be able to, but you can. It is a slight amount easier from the north, if anything, but that's not really the main point of this one. Okay, there is the target completed in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and check the battle results and the build and compare how this works against autoing if you are an auto-inclined player, which, spoiler alert, I happen to be. Damage on this one is basically only corrosive. The majority of this is likely from that one mine that I hit, with a very slight amount from a few other values. The penetrative damage is from the UAVs, nothing too crazy on this one. Results with bad driving and hitting a mine is 6 minutes and 41 seconds of repair, which honestly is what I expect from having a full cap fleet. Now, I will tell you that the auto damage was 22 minutes with a steelhead screw, which means it is instant repair. It actually wasn't instant repair. The flagship had 5 minutes and 3 seconds of damage on it because I have older armors or something on this one, but it was close enough that I'm calling auto instant repair, which means I intend to auto and repair for 5 minutes on each ship every single other target I hit after this one. You can see this was my first driving attempt, and the other attempt I did was the auto one, and I've only done two targets. Here's the build on the fleet, nothing I have not shown before. The one update I still need to do, other than adding the higher rarity things as I get them, is that I have not updated the Buckeye UAV targeting system based on the limited value that came out in Pillage. So that's the one small update I will do with tokens for free, because I have the ability to do that one. I did just redeem 3 for my 3 damaged ships, which are all built like this, including the flagship. There's absolutely no reason to build the flagship as a high evade ship, considering that I don't get hit by anything that evade would help with, because UAVs ignore evade and I'm shooting down all the missiles. So no reason to have evade on your fleet, because you don't get hit by any accuracy-based weapons. Now, I do have 2 Gale ships. These are incredibly important, and even if those have lower weapons and do basically no damage, the Gales on here are fantastic. You need high projectile speed, 2 Gale ships, and that works out beautifully for those ones. Briefly, if I expand this and try and look in the green values for the upgrades, you can see that the cap upgrade is not really worth it. It gives you some armor points, cool, that's a slight damage reduction of 5%-ish. Evade bonus, sure, that helps, but I'm not getting hit by anything that needs evade. Penetrative reload, 10%, very, very minor. I kill most things in one shot. The built-in field I'm not really using from that missile, so that's kind of worthless. The survival is definitely nice, and it is less than X1. So the cap upgrade is essentially the old flagship upgrade that was like 20 days split over each ship, so that it is a little easier to actually complete. So the upgrades are nothing crazy. If you have U3 ships, X1 ships, you'll likely do the same. With all the survival adding up between U1 and cap, there is a pretty substantial difference. But again, if I can drive this for 7 minutes of repair, hitting a mine with a cap fleet, you can probably drive it for instant repair in base using a U0 fleet with all of the uncommon weapons. Although I'm not actually going to scrap this fleet, rebuild it to prove that point. If you do have any questions, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. I want to give a huge thank you to all the channel members whose names are appearing on the end screen now. They're helping make videos like this one coming out the first day of the raid possible. If you want to show your support for the channel, I would be immensely humbled if you would click the join button below the YouTube video. It's just a small thank you for publishing these pretty consistently and regularly here. With that said, until next time, this is Derpy signing out, helping you be a better pirate.